Hello, friends of Open Circle. This is Brittany here to bring you all about Betty White. We are going to dive into the life and history of our beloved Betty. Betty White was born on January 17th, 1922 in Illinois, Oak Park, Illinois. She was an only child. Her father, Horace White, was an electrical engineer, and her mother, Tess, was a stay-at-home mother. She grew up in Illinois for 2 years, and when she was 2 years old, her family moved to Los Angeles, where she would live the rest of her life. Just look at those adorable pictures on the left there. In 1949, her career begins on TV and radio. It was kind of by chance that she got interested in these things. She was actually a singer in her high school graduation ceremony, and that's where someone noticed her and offered her a TV broadcast in 1939. She began her career in radio before making the transition to television. 1952, her TV career is taking off. Her very first TV jobs were on several different variety and comedy shows. She was also on a number of game shows. In 1952, Betty White produced and starred in her first TV sitcom called Life with Elizabeth, which ran live and followed the day-to-day events in the life of a newlywed couple. The show aired for just 2 seasons. And there on the right is a photograph from that TV show. She's just beautiful. Her string of pearls around her neck. Here's a photo of Betty White on NBC in 1954. She was 32 years old when this picture was taken. Here's Betty White in a Christmas parade in 1955, and this was a Christmas parade in which she was honored in Los Angeles. She starred in a new show called Date with the Angels in 1957, and that also ran for 2 seasons. And the premise of this show was that it followed the lives of a new bride and her insurance salesman husband. By 1963, Betty White had been married 2 times, once to a pilot, a World War II pilot, and once to another person in Hollywood. Both of them were short marriages, but in 1963, she met her sweetheart. She was a frequent guest on the game show Password, which you might remember, and the host of that show was Alan Ludden. And the 2 of them fell in love right from the beginning when they would work together, and Betty White would be a frequent contestant on that show. 1963, look at that happy couple. Betty and Alan were happily married until his death in 1981. She did not remarry. So Betty White, as you know, is still alive today. She's 98 years old. And from 1981 until now, she has not remarried. Here's a photo of actor Lorne Greene with Betty White on the right. This is a picture from 1965 when they co-hosted the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade together. And as we know, that takes place in time right down the middle of Manhattan in New York City. Here's her and her husband at the 1966 Emmy Awards. A few years later, Betty White and Lorne Greene. They were invited back to be in the hosts of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Her frequent TV appearances on game shows, at this point she had been on over 50 of them, and as a guest star on other TV shows, made her instantly recognizable to fans in the 1960s. She always had that cheery disposition. Just look at that smile. Here's a photo from the Tournament of Roses parade in Pasadena, California. This was taken in 1972. Betty White was a sought-after host for events like these due to her charming wit and sparkling personality. It's contagious. In 1975, Betty White was asked to be Sue Ann Nevins, the happy homemaker, in the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And this was really her breakout role. Up until this point, she was in game shows. She was the host of public televised events. She was just kind of the cheery girl that got called on set to raise money, etc. So this was her first really big sitcom role. And we're gonna take a peek at a clip from Betty White on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Mr. Schroeder, wow, you look so young to have such an important job.
Well, I'm not all that young.
Ed's been making some more suggestions.
Oh, what kind of suggestions? I thought Sue Ann's show was very successful.
Oh, yeah, it is, Mary, but you can't rest on yesterday's laurels. The public demands change. You must have found that on your show.
Oh, yeah, we try to change the news almost every night. Well, listen, I gotta get going. I just wanted to say I think it's terrific the way things are working out.
Sue Ann, I feel that your show needs some changes, some new elements. Frankly, Jane Q. Public is getting a wee bit tired of the same old household hints every day.
The same old hints? Here's what I'm doing today. Tell me if these sound like the same old hints. Lemon juice your knickknacks? New life for your squeegee? Moisten your suction cups? Kiss soap dish jelly goodbye? Same old hints.
You might remember seeing Betty White on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. It was a successful show that ran for many years. In 1976, Betty receives her second Emmy win for the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and we are going to take another watch at her acceptance speech from the 1976 Emmy Awards. Her voice has not changed. There's her husband.
I tell you, when you hear that list read, Julie and Nancy and Loretta and Georgia, I really am so proud to be in that company, and I am so grateful to each and every one of those evil, adorable, wonderful, nasty people at MTM who makes Sue Ann the rotten lady that she is. You can't help a few thank yous on an evening like this. It would be really nowhere without having to say thank you. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Carol Burnett, for the dress.
Betty White, everybody. In 1977, The Betty White Show was launched. It featured John Hillerman as Betty White's co-star, and he played her smug ex-husband who happens to be her director for a TV police drama. Unfortunately, this show only lasted one season, but better things were to come. In 1981 on The Tonight Show, Betty bantered with Johnny Carson. She was a favorite guest on that show for many years. As I said, better things to come for Betty White. We might know her and remember her best for her role on The Golden Girls. In 1985, Betty starred alongside a talented ensemble cast. You might remember Rue McCallaghan, Estelle Getty, and Bea Arthur. They're pictured here from left to right. And The Golden Girls was a sitcom about 4 previously married women all living together in Miami, Florida. It was a huge hit and ran for 7 seasons and has since been syndicated in reruns often now, even in 2020. We're gonna watch some highlights of her character. Betty White played Rose on The Golden Girls. These are a few of the highlights.
Who's that at the door? It's me, Blanche.
He's really brought new meaning to the word solicitous.
What was the old meaning again?
I wanted you to meet Doug for a very important reason.
Well, why?
Blanche, we're getting married.
That's impossible. Clayton brothers can't marry sisters. Oh, that's right. You're from the South.
This has to be the biggest disappointment of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've known some real disappointment, too, believe me.
Rose, you're not going to tell us that story about the exploding pig again, are you?
I never told you a story about an exploding pig, Dorothy. It was a peg-legged pig. Our possum was the one that exploded. I was just trying to be kind, courteous, helpful.
Well, knock it off. I've had it up to here with your cheerful disposition.
Oh, yeah, do you think it's easy to be cheerful around you two? You know how many of these stinking hot toddies I have to drink to keep on a happy face? Let me tell you about a lesson that I learned when I was a little girl in St. Olaf. If you hold a bird gently, the bird will stay. But if you squeeze the bird, his eyes will bug out. And Mr. Pet Shop owner gets very happy and he won't let you touch the birds anymore. And the mice, he won't even let you go through with the mice.
What is 8 times 6? Okay, now that we have a few minutes.
Someone was actually able to deceive me once.
Do tell, Rose.
St. Olaf's most famous OBMAG.
What's that?
Obstetrician magician. The amazing Shapiro. He delivered Bridget. But it was so confusing. It's a girl. Now it's a dove. Now it's a glass of milk. I don't know how he got her in that deck of cards. But there she was, right after the King of Hearts. Is this your baby? Miles is my dancing partner at the ballroom.
Oh, yes, and tonight we were the king and queen of the rumba.
Olay. I made dessert.
Damn.
What'd you say, Blanche?
Yum, I said yum.
Rose, is this another one of those Scandinavian Viking concoctions?
Yes. It's called Gnurkenflöten cake. It's an ancient recipe, but I Americanized it.
Yeah, so one might say you brought Geflirken into the 80s?
Yes, but I'm not one to blow my own Vertugenflügel.
I can't even reach mine.
I knew I never should have gotten involved in this mother-daughter pageant. I just wish I'd known how to say no to it.
I know what you mean. I should have said no to the Miss St. Olaf beauty pageant. It was 1951. That was the first year they let humans enter, too. I was way ahead after the evening gown and log rolling competition. People don't realize how hard it is to roll a log when you're doing an evening gown. And the shocker is I lost out on the intelligence quiz.
Rose, hand me that newspaper.
No, you're going to hit me with it.
No, I won't.
You promise?
I promise.
Hope you enjoyed those clips. All right. The Golden Girls ran for 7 seasons. What a hit. In 1986, Betty White poses with her Golden Girls co-stars on the right there, Rue McCallaghan and Estelle Getty, at the 38th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards. She won an Emmy for her role as the naive but sweet Rose. pleasantly confused. Here she is in 1987 with her good friend Lucille Ball at a book signing in Los Angeles. The two of them were longtime friends. Here's a photograph from 1992. Still as lovely as ever, Betty arrives at the Emmy Awards. She wasn't in the spotlight as much as previous years during this decade, but her sense of style still stood out, seen here in this lovely dress. She continued to work with her various animal charities, and in the 1990s, Betty White really amps up her humanitarian work. She gets very close with the Los Angeles Zoo and the efforts there. And in 2015, she is named by the People's Choice Awards for America's Favorite TV Icon. And here she is on stage with Ellen DeGeneres in 2015 at the age of 93. In 2004, here's a photo of Betty sharing a table at the TV Land Awards with her friends and former co-stars, Mary Tyler Moore on the far left and Cloris Leachman from their days together on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Betty's fame skyrocketed with a new generation after her iconic Super Bowl ad this year, which we'll see a clip of at the end. In 2010, Betty White was in a Super Bowl ad, I believe for a candy bar, and in the commercial, she is shown playing football. Now she's tackled to the ground, however, we know that there had to have been a stunt double, but it's quite a funny ad, and she gets a number of roles after that advertisement at the Super Bowl. And here she is with Ryan Reynolds, who she was in a movie called The Proposal with, as well as Sandra Bullock. And that movie came out that same year. And after that movie came out, she was on The Tonight Show with Ryan Reynolds. Here, Betty shows her support at the Los Angeles Zoo annual fundraiser ball by posing with one of the zoo's residents. Yes, she is fearless. I don't know about you, but I would rather not have a rattlesnake around my neck. In 2010, she had quite a big year that year. After a Facebook campaign by fans to get her on Saturday Night Live, Betty was asked to host it. Her opening monologue was charming, funny, and a little bit naughty. In a nutshell, it was Betty at her finest. It was a lifelong dream of hers to host Saturday Night Live, and she got to do it. Through the years, Betty White has given her time and resources to many animal organizations, including the American Animal Humane Society. Here she's speaking during the first Hero Dog Awards, hosted by the association in Beverly Hills. Granted, she's well into her 90s at this point. In 2012, at a book signing, Betty attends a book signing for her book, Betty and Friends, My Life at the Zoo, about her charity work with the Los Angeles Zoo. She's been involved with the zoo for more than 40 years and remains an advocate for animals of all types. She loves animals and has always had pets, but she also has an entire room filled with stuffed animals in her home. Here's a photo from 2015 receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. Betty received the Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award for her decades of bringing laughter and light to TV viewers. As always, her acceptance speech was funny, quick-witted, and charming. In 2018, just 2 years ago, she attended the Emmy Awards again. She would have been 96 at this time. And she was honored on stage because she was also the only person in the audience who was at the very first Emmy Awards ever held in 1949. And this was the 70th Emmy Awards when they honored her on stage in 2018. She was gracious as always as she thanked everyone, got a few laughs, and smiled that gorgeous smile. Today, Betty White is 98 years old and continues to live in Beverly Hills, California, where she has lived most of her life. Thank you, Betty White, for all of the laughs. We're gonna watch a clip. This will be our ending. We're gonna watch this clip of Katie Couric from NBC spending some time with Betty White on her 95th birthday. So this was from 3 years ago.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Betty. What I made for you.
Isn't
Happy
that
birthday to you.
beautiful?
And guess what else I bought you? A sloth. Because I hear you have a little crush on a certain sloth.
Oh, I do.
You met one at the Wildlife Center, right?
I
And
certainly.
you have you're a little sweet on him.
A little sweet on him, and we did this too.
You did?
Oh yes.
You can add this to your collection because a little birdie told me you have an entire room full of stuffed animals at your house.
I'm a little strange for stuffed animals. I'm a little strange for any kind of animals, except possibly the two-legged kind.
This is a big birthday for you, Betty.
95.
Can you believe it?
No, seriously, I can't. I keep thinking, Betty, you're 95 years old. I'm so blessed with good health and faculty. I've got memories and all that. And that you can't really expect that at 95. I am the luckiest old broad on 2 feet. Oh,
This past weekend, I understand you had a little bit of a celebration.
I have milked it every day. I'm shamefaced.
What's a typical day like for you, Betty?
I get up early and play with my dog a little bit. He comes over and he lets me know when it's 6:30. I'll be asleep like this, and the edge of the bed is here, and I'll get boom. It's 6:30. It's time to get up.
That's a nice way to wake up,
It's
though.
the best way to wake up. And then I've got a lot of things I'm involved with.
You stay busy. You're still doing some television,
And-
right?
Right. And crossword puzzles. I'm addicted. An admitted addict. I just can't put them down. And if I see one, on the floor, if somebody has a puppy, and there's a crossword puzzle, I say, no, honey, you can't go on that. But I can't.
Is there anything you know now at 95 that you
Not
wish
much.
that you wish you had known at, say, 25?
Oh, I think we can all say that, but I don't know of anything specific that, oh my God, if I'd only known that. I've been married 3 times, and I probably still would have been married 3 times, even if I knew what I know now. Then all of a sudden you find the right one, and it makes everything fall into place.
Alan Ludden, your wonderful, wonderful husband,
I love him, I like.
he passed away in 1981. And I was a widow, and I was just wondering, what would you tell other women who maybe are in the same position you found yourself in all those years ago, losing someone you love so much?
One day at a time. You don't look ahead, and you try not to look back, but of course you can't help that.
You never wanted to remarry?
Remarry? No. Fool around, sure. but never remarry.
What was the most fun gig you ever had?
There have been so many of them.
The Snickers commercial?
That was great fun.
When you hosted SNL,
Oh, I loved it.
how fun was that?
That was probably the most fun I've ever had. And the scariest. Just the fact of being up there and doing it and talking to the audience, and in the back of your mind you're thinking, I'm doing a Saturday Night Live. People say, but Betty, Facebook is a great way to connect with old friends. Well, at my age, if I want to connect with old friends, I need a Ouija board.
How would would you feel if they did remake The Golden Girls?
I'd want to do it.
You would? I'm sure they'd want you too, Betty.
I'm sure. At 95, I'm sure they'd want me.
You were almost Blanche instead of Rose.
Yes, yes. But then, all of a sudden, Rose came up and I loved her because she was so innocent and not the brightest nickel in the drawer, but she was fun to do. Dorothy, you're the smart one, and Blanche, you're the sexy one, and Sophia, you're the old one, and I'm the nice one. Everybody always likes me. The old one isn't so crazy about you.
What advice would you give people for living a long, happy, productive, meaningful life?
First of all, keep busy and don't focus everything on you. That wears out pretty fast. It's not hard to find things you're interested in, but enjoy them and indulge them. And I think that keeps you on your toes.
And be a good friend, right?
No. Oh, no. Be mean with people. That's what you do.
When people hear your name, what do you hope they think of?
Oh, she's so gorgeous and sexy. No, I don't. I just appreciate the fact that people have been so kind to me all these years. The fact that I'm still working, that's the thing I'm most grateful for, that I still get asked for jobs.
Do you want to say something to all your fans out there who are wishing you a happy 95th? You can look at that camera and say something.
Well, but first of all, I want to say it to you. Thank you so much and for coming in here today.
No.
And everybody has been so wonderfully kind to me for all these hundreds of years. And I love you and thank you. And thank you.
Happy birthday, Betty.
Thank you, darling.
All right. Thank you, Betty White. And thank you all for joining me today.